In this video, we'll cover the 3-period moving average method and the 3-period weighted moving average method. They're from section 6.3 in the textbook. If you don't have your workbook set up like this, you need to pause and set your workbook up. I've included the mean absolute percentage error MAPE here, as well as a forecast for the next period, which in this case would be week 13. Here are the formulas that we'll use to calculate these mean errors. You don't have to put these on your worksheet. I just have them here for you to use. The same with these formulas here. They're just here to help you understand the calculations required in each column. In the 3-period moving average method, we're doing just what the title says. We're going to take the 3 previous periods, average them, and that will create our forecast. That means that K will equal 3. In our calculations over here where we have N minus K, we have a sample size of 12. K will be 3 because we're using 3 periods to calculate the forecast. So I'll go ahead and in this cell use the average function in Excel and take the previous 3 periods. I'll leave that relative. That way as I copy it down, it will calculate the average as I move the cursor down. To illustrate that, I'll place my cursor here and press F2, and you can see that it's come down. It's taking an average of the 3 previous periods. Then I'll just walk through the equations here. We want the forecast error, and that is simply the time series value less the forecast. And we do that all the way down. And we want to take the absolute value of that, the absolute value of the forecast area. So I'll use the absolute function in Excel. I need to start with an equal sign. And there's my value. Copy that down. Square this. Raise it to the second power. The percentage error, you can see the function up here, we'll just take E, which we calculated here, and we'll place it over Y, which is here. Let's convert this to a percent, essentially multiplying it times 100, which is something that we need to do in a bit. We might as well do it right here. And then the absolute value now of our percentage error, ABS, value to my left, which is the percentage error. Again, convert that to percent, essentially multiplying it times 100. Give it a couple of decimals. Copy that down. Now we need some totals in order to do these calculations. You notice they all begin with the sum sign, so we need to get totals here. Let's begin with E. We'll use the sum function. Grab these values. Excel tries to help us. Excel is wrong, so I'm going to copy this across. Get the correct answers in here. These two values. I'm going to go ahead and convert them, add a couple of decimals. Now I can calculate the mean forecast error. Here's the formula. The mean forecast error is sum of the errors over N minus K. So here's the sum of E right here over N, which is 12, minus K, which is 3 in this case. We use 3 periods to make that calculation. Now we'll calculate the mean absolute error. Formula right here. We'll take the sum of our absolute values of E of error and place that over N12 minus K3. Let's take some decimals out of there. That's plenty. Mean squared error, formula right here, error squared. We'll take the sum of the error squared and put that over N12 minus K3. And let's go ahead and decrease those decimals also. And mean absolute percentage error. We just take this value and place it over 12 minus 3. Let's convert that to a percent, essentially multiplying it times 100. Give it a couple of decimals. Week 13 forecast is just going to be the 3-period moving average. So we'll take the average of periods 10, 11, and 12, and that will give us the week 13 forecast of 19. Now I've reset the workbook to do the 3-period weighted moving average, and the text asks us to rate the first period in the 3-period series by 1/6, the second period by 2/6 or 1/3, and the third period by 3/6 or 1/2. It's important that the sum of the weights equals 1. Now Excel allows us to apply these weights in a couple of different ways. We can do it the way that they do in the textbook, which I will do in a minute, but I would just want to show you how to incorporate some of the things we've learned in Excel to be able to do this. It's much quicker, and it provides you with much more flexibility. I'm going to use the sum product function to do this, so I'm going to calculate my 3 weights down here. The first weight is 1/6, so equals 1/6. The second weight is 2/6 or 1/3, and the third weight was 3/6 or 1/2. So I have those values. Now I'm just going to use sum product, and I'm going to take relative cell references here of the 3 values before this forecast, and then I will use an absolute cell reference to point to my weights, and we know how sum product works. It's going to go ahead and do essentially what we're going to have this cell do using the traditional method in a moment, only much quicker. So I'll go ahead and do that. That gives me 19.33. Copy those down, take off a couple of decimals, and there is the solution. Now we'll do that the traditional way, the way that they point out in the text. Go ahead and equals, and we can put it in parentheses if you want. It's not necessary, the math is going to go, but I will just to make it clear. I'm going to take this first value and multiply it times 1/6, and then I'll add to it this second value and multiply it times 2/6, and then add to that the third value and multiply it times 3/6. There we go. And 19.33, same answers. Copy that down. So either way, sum product certainly quicker, more accurate, easier to go in, and if you want to change the weights, you can just change them here and it'll change them up there. All right, let's continue through. We'll calculate E, which is Y minus the trend, actual minus the trend. We'll just copy that down. Absolute value of E, ABS of E. Let's take out some decimals here. E squared. We'll raise that to the second power. Take out some decimals. Those decimals out of there. Copy that down. Then we'll take the error and place it over the time series value, y. Get some. Let's go ahead and make that a percent, essentially multiplying it times 100. We'll add a couple of decimal places. Then we'll copy that down. Then we'll get the absolute value of that. Again, convert that to percent, multiplying it times 100, and we'll bring that down. All right, let's put in some totals here. Draw a little line. And use the sum function to add these up. Excel tries to help us, but it is incorrect, so we'll just copy these across, convert these two to percent, and we'll add a couple of decimals. Now we'll calculate the mean forecast area. The formula for that is here. We're just going to take the sum of our error and place that over. And in this case, again, is 12, and we used k periods to create the forecast, so that's 3, so n minus k. Take some decimals out of there. The mean absolute error, here's the formula. We'll take the sum of absolute value, e, the error, place that over n of 12 minus k of 3. Take out some decimals. The mean squared error, formula right here. We'll take the sum of the error squared column and place that over n of 12 minus k of 3. We have that. Take out some decimals. All right. The MAPE, I'm going to take absolute percentage and place that over n of 12 minus our k of 3. And we'll convert that to a percentage and add a couple of decimals. Then the week 13 forecast, of course, if we were using some product, it'd be a lot quicker. It's all right, we'll just do it the traditional way. So we'll take our value from period 10. Let's put that in parentheses. We'll multiply that times 1 over 6. And we'll add that to our value from period 11, which we multiply times 2 over 6. Plus then our value from period 12, which we multiply times 3 over 6. And that gives us our period 13 forecast. We take out a few decimals and we're in good shape. That is how you forecast using the 3-period moving average and the 3-period weighted moving average.